it's a God thing.
Chrisagis Brothers Ministries proudly presents It's a God Thing with your hosts Brian and Sean Chrisagis. This week, Brian and Sean welcome in Cheryl Ladd, who played the role of Kris Munroe on TV's Charlie's Angels, and will discuss her walk with the Lord with us, along with some of her more recent work. All of this and much more is in store for you this week on It's a God Thing.
Father, please forgive them, for they know not what they do, and that's a God thing.
Hi, welcome to It's a God Thing. We're the Chrisagis Brothers. I'm Brian.
And I'm Sean. And today, well, I can't explain how happy we are. I think this is the happiest day of our entire radio life, but it's one of the happiest days of our life. On It's a God Thing or anywhere else. Today's guest is a lady we love and are in love with. She's a true iconic legend, beauty, and true angel. God was very happy when he created her, and we have been happy ever since. And he made such a masterpiece with this lady. They say there's only 7 wonders of the world, but we would differ with that. We think that we are talking today to number 8 wonder of the world. She is known as one of Charlie's Angels, but those who really know her and follow her life and career know that she's one of God's special angels on earth. Her name's Cheryl Ladd, and we are so thrilled to have Cheryl with us. Hey, Cheryl, are you there?
Hi, guys. Yes, I'm here.
Did you get our flowers, our roses?
They were, I wanted to tell you, they were so beautiful.
Good.
Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. It was so kind.
Oh, wow.
They were sitting on my grand piano for a whole week.
Oh, that's awesome. So you thought of us for a whole week.
I did indeed. I kept looking forward to our chat.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Awesome. We can't believe it. Our hearts are doing pitter-patters.
Finally, I get to talk to you. It's lovely.
Thank you. Our first question is basically because you're on our show. We say everyone knows you as Kris Munroe, the younger sister of Farrah Fawcett's character, Jill Munroe from Charlie's Angels. But when Farrah left the show, we got to admit, we were very upset and we cried. And we said, we'll never watch the show again. And then you walk in that bikini, and we were like, oh, okay, we're going to give it another shot. And we were happy ever since then. But how do you deal with, we got to tell you, you actually fulfilled one of our biggest bucket dream lists. So, but how do you deal with men like us who have had dreams of ever meeting you and have been in love with you for 30 years or so?
Well, you know, they kind of fell in love with Kris Munroe, and I like Kris Munroe too, but it's not really me. Kris Munroe is kind of a pretend person.
Well, we got to tell you, we weren't
just...
just...
a lot of Kris Munroe characteristics, but that's not who I am. So I like that people fall in love with Kris Munroe. I do.
That's great. But I got to tell you, Cheryl, it went beyond Kris Munroe. We loved you and everything you ever did. And when we got to see your heart, you've got the heart of a true champion for the Lord.
Oh, well, you know, he's blessed me in so many, many ways. And starting out in my life, just with the parents, I did have to grow up in South Dakota. I'm kidding. It's hard to have dreams of show business in here on South Dakota. You know, it's a lovely town and a wonderful place to grow up, and I had a wonderful family, wonderful parents, sister, 2 brothers. But, you know, if you wanted to do what my heart was telling me, I was supposed to be doing what my soul was singing and dancing and, you know, all of those things. When I was a very little girl, I knew who I wanted to be, who I actually was, how God made me, and that was a part of me from the time I heard of my first song. The first time I saw someone dance, I recognized who I actually was. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's really an interesting thing.
Well, that's wonderful. And we understand you loved going to Sunday school as a child, but we also heard an interview where you said that personally you were at the height of your career on Charlie's Angels, but you were really asking God to help you through it all, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You were calling out for Jesus into your life.
Absolutely. It was strangely at the height of my greatest success. It was my lowest point. I had so much going on. I had so much on my plate, but also I had wandered a bit away. I mean, I still believed in God, but I put him over to the side too often everything else overwhelmed. And I realized that even at that point in my life with all that success, I wasn't happy. I was very unhappy. And I really needed God, and He was there for me. He didn't leave me. I wandered from Him. And
That's a beautiful way
as
of
soon as
putting
I
it.
asked for Him, this overpowering peace took hold of me, and I knew He was still there. I knew it wasn't going to be easy to work my way through what happened, a divorce, and all of the things that happened to me. But I knew that I had God, and I was going to keep listening to Him and looking to Him to see how I should move forward. And that's the only thing that saved me, really.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And that's wonderful to, you brought up an important point that God never leaves us. He's always there waiting for us with His arms wide open. It's us that wander off. And we're so thankful that honestly, Cheryl, we've prayed for you ever since we were little. Our whole family has prayed for you day and night for the Lord to just really be strong in your life and that you would stay protected from everything. And we're thankful to see that you are a strong, wonderful Christian lady.
Your prayers were answered. He has protected me my whole life, and thank you for your prayers because I believe in them. I think they are powerful, powerful things, and love, and you cared for me, and that love is what God is and what He wants us to have at all times. He wants wholeness and love, and I know that now. I really know that in a very, very clear way, and I really appreciate your prayers, and I think many people were praying for me, and, prayers
We
are
would
answered.
agree with you on that. The prayer power is so important, and we have always believed in that, and we've even seen how different roles that you played, how you made stands in certain movies that was very brave on your part. You did movies on drug awareness. You did movies, that even the Fulfillment of Mary Gray dealt with a storyline where a person grabs the Bible and he picks and chooses the verses and which ones he would live by, and then the curse that came because of that. We just loved all of the many messages you brought out in many of your movies. You also are an ambassador for ChildHelp USA, and you've done actually everything possible in this life of yours. You did a video called Fascinated, and you did music videos that were before its time, before MTV ever did music videos. It seems like God's hand has been upon you, and everything you've touched has turned to gold because His favor has been on you.
His favor has been on me, even when I was flailing around a bit. He was always looking out for me, always leading me where He wanted me to go. Now I live in Texas. My husband and I have been part of starting a whole new church. It has been overwhelming how clearly God has wanted us to be here in Texas, and my mother is here, and sisters and brothers, and our grandchildren, and my husband and I are really listening to His leading, and it's being kind of loud and clear. And whatever
That's
decision
beautiful.
that comes in my life, I completely just give it to God and say, okay, I'm going to do my best because this is a part I'm interested in doing and all of that. But whatever happens, God, I'm good with whatever happens because, everything is in your hands, and I want you to put me where you want me to be. And so if I lose a part or get a part, I just feel like God is moving in it all the time.
Amen. Amen. Well, we can truly tell you there's not a lot of ladies out there today, and every time we look around, it gets scarier and scarier the way the world is going, and the women out in Hollywood and also around the world. But there's one lady that has been a lady forever, and it's been you, and we are proud of you, and we cheer you on, and it's good to see a role model for young girls, but also for men to look at to say, hey, this is the type of lady that we want to marry, or this is the type of lady that we need to find because she loves the Lord, but also is a true feminine lady. You're a class act.
Oh, what a kind thing to say. Well, I would say that, like most people in the world and in life, we all make mistakes. We all make some choices but I think we learn from all of them, and we understand that all of a sudden we made these choices and we're not who we're supposed to be. We're not who we are. We don't feel right inside ourselves when we kind of go, oh, that wasn't a great choice. Wow. What was going on there when I decided to do that? Especially when you're my age and you look back at your life and just feel like, oh, yeah, I was really lost in that moment. Because you can't really go back there and be that person under those circumstances again. All you can do is ask, God's forgiveness, and allow yourself to feel forgiven.
Amen.
And that's what's
beautiful.
so important.
Wow. Those are wonderful words to live by. We wish we had hours to talk with you, but before the show you said we will have 2 parts of this show, so we're excited. But we wanted to ask you this. You made so many movies, and some of these movies were some of the highest rated TV movies in TV history. And TV Guide once said, no movie is in peril as long as it's got Cheryl. And we got to tell you, we totally agree. We saw all your movies, and we're just going to name a few of them. Grace Kelly, Now and Forever, The Hasty Hearts, Romance on the Orient, Crossings, Bluegrass, The Fulfillment of Mary Gray, Lisa, Crash, Mystery of Flight 1501, Changes, Vows of Deception, Every Mother's Worst Fear, Death in California. All of there were so many wonderful movie roles. And looking back, do you have a favorite movie that you've done, or something that speaks to your heart even now after so many years?
Well, certainly the Grace Kelly film, because it's ironic that just as we were about to start filming it, she died. She had her accident, and of course I didn't want to go forward. So we waited a period of time, and as a matter of fact, Grace and Renier were involved as producers with the film with us. My husband had taken the script to the palace and sat with her as she read through it. So it was a story that we knew that she wanted to be told, and one of the things that my husband told her is that I really related to her young life, her struggle to follow her dream, to be an actor, to do those things, and didn't, unlike me, I got a lot of, I wouldn't say push or anything, encouragement from my parents to be whoever I decided that I was going to be. I was lucky because my parents didn't have expectations of me being somebody they wanted me to be. They let me be who God made me.
That's beautiful.
That was such a
That's
gift.
very beautiful. And you stepped right into Grace Kelly's role so beautifully. Most women wouldn't have been able to do that because she was a classy, elegant lady that we all know and loved, and you did it perfectly. A question for you is, we know that you have a great relationship with Jacqueline Smith still. You two have, it's amazing to see the chemistry and the bond that has remained for all those years. And we, as brothers, have always loved both of you and thought you guys were the epitome of...
That's why we're still single, Cheryl. We keep wanting 2 women like you two.
But how is the bond going? And can you tell us a little bit about that bond, and also if there's anything that we can look forward to in the future with the two of you?
Well, Jacqueline and I have had this long friendship, and we were very close when we were making Charlie's Angels. It took some time, but as the years went by and we were working together and other girls came and went, Jacqueline and I really forged this really close bond. I adore her. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady, and I do get to see her often. She has family in Texas, so she's coming to see us soon, she said, and was at her daughter's wedding, and we have these great phone conversations. It's a strange thing. It's like when something kind of major happens in your life, and you're around people, you're kind of bonded with them in a way that is kind of unexplainable. You can't explain it to other people. Because it was powerful in both of our lives. It changed our lives dramatically. And yet we were just still these young women. I mean, I had Jordan when Jordan was 2 when I started the show, and Jacqueline was so wanting to have children. So we had just regular old girlfriend conversations about babies and all of those girl things that we talk about and what are things that were important to us. And she's still a lovely woman and a great friend and just such a close confidant. And
That's beautiful.
I just adore her.
Really. Well, we hope that you guys will do a project together sometime. We would love to see you back on the screen together as friends or something. We also understand that you have started a new project, which is close to your home, basically. It's Signature Homes. Can you tell us about the Cheryl Ladd Signature Homes that you and your husband have been working on?
Oh, we're having so much fun. We moved to Texas, and, my husband, who is a brilliant writer, you should talk to him sometime. I'm sure he would love to be interviewed by you. He wrote one of my favorite novels I've ever read, not just because he's my husband, but, he decided to write this novel, and I'm thinking, okay, honey. It was about a 4-year project, but he wrote this book, and I'm telling you, it is one of my very favorite books I've ever read. You should look it up. It's called Scribe. And
We will.
It's on Amazon.
Cheryl.
You should go read the reviews. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so he does that, and, he was the producer on the Grace Kelly. It was his idea. He developed it. Grace Kelly was his project. I got to be in it. He saw Grace and I standing in a receiving line at an event we were at together, and he said, on the way home, he said, I think you should do the Grace Kelly story. So anyway, so he's a writer, and he was with Elton John's band, a singer, recording artist, producer, film producer, television producer. He's a man of all talents, and in our house that we lived in California, up in the San Ynez Valley, when we bought the property, he drew the house himself. Who knew he could draw? This man can do everything. And his book is brilliant. So he just amazes me at every turn. And because we built now several houses to live in together, we built one here in Texas, and we got such a great response about it, we decided to start Cheryl Ladd Signature Homes and help people build their dream home with a new kind of sort of fresh approach. And we've had some amazing doors open for us, as God does. He makes the way. And so we're building our first deck house in a beautiful place called Cordillera Ranch here in Texas, in north of San Antonio. It is so much fun, and the house is turning out so beautifully. So we're just having fun creating. When you're a creative soul, it surprises you how it branches out, because there was singing, there was dancing, there was acting, and that's what got me on the Broadway stage. One of my also favorite things to do. So I just feel so excited and blessed.
Well, God has really put you two together. You're like the dynamic duo there. And we would love to have him on our show sometime. So please tell him about it. And Cheryl, we wanted to ask you another question. Is there a website that they could actually go to for Cheryl Ladd Signature Homes? Is it CherylLaddSignatureHomes.com or what is it?
Yes, it is. CherylLaddSignatureHomes.com.
Awesome. And then we wanted to ask you, you've been awarded over the years a Purple Heart for your work with the military, and then you won the Woman of the World Award in 1987 for your humanitarian work for being an ambassador for ChildHelp USA. We are so proud of all you've done. Can you share a little bit about that charity?
When I was on Charlie's Angels, I wanted to make sure that in my opportunities that came, that I could show a different side and not be Kris Munroe. I didn't want to have to try to be Kris Munroe my whole life, although I loved her dearly and loved playing her. But I wanted to be able to branch out and have other opportunities as an actress. So when ABC came to me and said, we'd like you to do a movie of the week for us, it was at a time when I had my daughter Jordan. She was small and everything, and I was starting to read in like page 8 or 9 or 10 a little column of children being abused in our country. I started to do some research and realized that it was epidemic in our country, and no one at that time was really dealing with it or talking about it. And so I went to ABC and said, I would like like to do something, and I would like to do a movie about child abuse in our country, and I think I should be playing the abuser. Well, you can imagine the executives at ABC. You could hear crickets in the room. They were shocked. What, no beaches, no bikinis? I don't know. And I said, no, I understand. It's a really heavy subject, but it needs to be brought into the light. And I'm determined that if I'm going to, use my success, this is the project I am going to try to get done. And I understand if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I'll have to take it somewhere else. And they said, no, wait, let's talk about this. And so I kind of talked it through. And in the end, they said, you know what? Okay, we're going to do this. And so I did When She Was Bad with Robert Urich and played a child abuser who had been abused herself.
It was an awesome movie, and you guys both did a great job in that movie. One of our favorites.
Well, as I was promoting it on the Dinah Shore show, all over the place, I said, if there's anyone out here fighting this plague in our country, please call me. I would love to help in any way I can. Well, no sooner did I say that than Sarah O'Mara and Yvonne Fedderson, who are the founders of ChildHelp, were on the phone to me and said, Cheryl, can we meet with you? We love you. We need you. Please come and talk to us. That was 1978, and I have been working with the organization ever since. They are the most remarkable women. These are two women you should be talking to. You should read up on them. They have saved so many children. They have done such incredible work. They've actually been nominated many times for the, what is it called? The
Woman of the World?
No, they give out Women of the World awards. We
know that one of them were healed through the ministry of Catherine Coleman, and she was dying of cancer, and now she has a place called the Little Chapel where she prays over people and ministers to people, and a powerful lady.
She was healed. She's one of the most powerful warriors for God, and she is so much fun. They're so wonderful, these women. They are idols of mine, that God put my mother and these women in my life.
That's beautiful.
To show me, what women, these glorified women are. It's just amazing. All of whom have suffered, all of whom have persevered, and all of whom believe in the Lord.
That's so beautiful.
Cheryl, we have like 3 minutes. I can't believe it. This has been the happiest day of our life, and it's almost over with.
And can men go through PMS? Because we are sweating up a storm, and
we hit puberty just having you on the phone with us. So we have like 3 minutes, but we usually turn it over to the person who we're talking to give hope to our listeners, because there's people out there that want to know this Jesus or this Creator, this God that you've been talking about, and this hope that you have found. Would you be able to share just a little bit more with them, and then we'll wrap it up? You've got like 2.5 minutes.
Oh, well, I just felt a connection. I would go to Sunday school, and it was always joyful for me. When I sang Jesus Loves Me, when I was very small, because, see, I believe that children already know the truth. They're not tainted. They're not. So young children know the truth. When they hear it, when they're singing Jesus Loves Me, they know it because they came through him. They know things already. And as we get older and the world taints us, we forget and we lose track of how connected we are with our Creator. And children, I will tell you one quick story. My husband's daughter, Lindsay, when she was 2.5, 3 years old, she's sitting on her dad's lap one day, and she said, Daddy, did you know, before I came to be with you and Mommy, do you remember when I was with Jesus?
Wow.
And he said, no, honey, I don't remember that. Do you remember that? And she said, uh-huh.
Wow.
So
That's powerful.
So there
That
are
really-
all kinds of ways that God brings us and communicates with us and stays with us even when we wander, even when we do things that we shouldn't be doing and are ashamed of and have to work through bad decisions and thinking that we know a better way than He does. We don't. But He allows us. He allows us to see what it's like without Him. And without Him or away from Him is never peace, love, joy, fulfillment. God wants us whole, and He wants us pure, and He wants us happy.
Amen.
And that
was-
is the truth.
That's beautiful, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that. Wow. You fulfilled our biggest dream.
And we can truly say that you're more than just a Charlie's angel. You truly are God's angel on earth. And we look forward to seeing what God has in store for you, because the next chapter of your life, I think, is even going to be more powerful than the former years, because you're really walking with the Lord, and He's got great things ahead for you.
We can hear you being an inspirational speaker, Cheryl, and we hope to meet you one day face to face, and we're praying for you. And everybody who wants to get in touch with you or follow your career, they can go to CherylLadd.com. Is that right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
We knew that because we've been on there many times.
I had a feeling.
We love you, Cheryl. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. That was way fun. You guys are amazing, and thank you for your message that you put out, for what you're doing. Leading people in the... Just hold that light up all the time. I try to hold the light up every chance I get.
Thank you so much.
God bless
And for It's a God Thing, we're signing off. To know Him, to make Him known. We love you, Cheryl.
We love you,
God
Cheryl.
bless you.
Love you, boys.
You've been listening to It's a God Thing from Chrisagis Brothers Ministries. Visit ChrisagisBrothersMinistries.org, where you can learn more about Brian and Sean, find their upcoming appearances, and visit their store for Chrisagis Brothers merchandise. You can also click on the Donate button in the lower left corner of the screen to make a secure donation to the ministry via PayPal. That's at ChrisagisBrothersMinistries.org. ChrisAgis. You can also send Brian and Sean your thoughts about this program to the Chrisagis Brothers at yahoo.com, or by dropping a card or letter in the mail to Chrisagis Brothers, P.O. Box 46, Glendale, West Virginia, 26038. Follow the Chrisagis Brothers on Facebook, and be sure to like and subscribe to them on YouTube, where Brian and Sean have uploaded this show and some of their most favorite interviews from past shows, including Lonnie Anderson, Eric Estrada, and Kevin Sorbo. Join us next time when Brian and Sean welcome in Michael English, who will be at the Chrisagis Brothers' upcoming Legends concert event August 19th in Wheeling, West Virginia. Thank you once again for listening, and be sure to join us next time for It's a God Thing from Chrisagis Brothers Ministries.